Okay. Black Mirror Season 5. Most have said that this is the weakest season out of all of them. And I don't know about weakest as in poor, but weakest as in comparatively speaking, I would have to say, I would have to agree with it. Because, and I know it's only 3 episodes, and each episode is like its own little short film. So the best way to review a season like that would be to just do each episode by itself and then just the entire season as a whole overall. So, like I said, 3 episodes of a season, 5th season of the Netflix show Black Mirror. And first episode's called Striking Vipers. Second episode's called Smithereens. Third episode's called Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2. And the first one is probably the strongest episode, but I wouldn't quite say the best episode. I'd tie it with the second one. I'll get to that in a second. But the I like where the not third, 5th season. I keep forgetting how many seasons this damn show has. The first episode, second episode, and especially third are trying to, I guess, deviate from the show's typical uh, dangers of futuristic technology type of premises and try to explore less futuristic avenues and more current ones. Like Striking Vipers explores less about technology. Like it does involve a futuristic virtual reality video game, and that's the only real piece of like flashy technology in it. But it's primarily an examination of sexuality and masculinity, and the two main actors in it are really good. Anthony Mackie, who I've always really liked as an actor, and the other guy, I don't know why I keep confusing him for Meek Mill, but he's the guy that played Black Manta in Aquaman. I think the actor's name is Yahya Abdul Mateen. And both of them are two friends that are really into this video game that I mistook for being what's basically a VR cross between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. But the showrunner, his main inspiration for the video game turned out to be another one very similar to Street Fighter, Tekken. And looking back, it seems very much like a Street Fighter Tekken type of game when you watch Striking Vipers. And the two avatars that they play, the one Asian actor who plays like the Hadouken type of character, I know it's Ryu, and I don't play the video games, obviously, but I don't know his name. But the girl actress, the one who played the other avatar that Madine's character was playing, uh, I thought she was somebody else, but she turned out to be, I believe the actress's name is Pom Clementif. She played Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy in the Avengers movie. So there's a lot of really good acting in this. There's Nicole Bahari, who I haven't seen a whole lot of in movies or other TV shows, but I know her mainly from the Fox TV show Sleepy Hollow, which she was good in, and she's good in this episode. She plays Anthony Mackie's character's wife, and the way that these two guys interact in this video game, uh, it really explores a lot of interesting themes. But there's one thing that all 3 episodes unfortunately share in common, and that is a lackluster conclusion. That's the main reason why I thought that this season was kind of subpar. If I had to compare it to other seasons, like I still liked it, but compared to other seasons, it wasn't as good because all 3 episodes, I wouldn't say botched. Like for lack of a better word, I'd say it didn't do as well with the ending. And Striking Vipers, it had a decent ending, but it didn't feel like it was fleshed out enough. And the other thing was, I feel like the two characters could have been, pulled out a little bit more and seen a little bit more into who they were instead of just using this video game as just like a typical cliche type of escape. And it never really delved as deep into its type of thematic material as I guess it could have. But the second episode, anyway, if there's like a rating for the first episode, I'd say maybe like 3.5 out of 5. The second episode, Smithereens, was the one with an actor that I'm not too familiar with, but he's an incredible actor, so I'm glad to have seen him in this. Andrew Scott, the main actor in this, plays like a rideshare driver. And it's a very, like I said, it's not very futuristic tech. Like, it does involve a lot of specifics with apps and smartphone technology, but it's more like societal impact via social media type of social commentary message. And Black Mirror's done that numerous times before. That was in their very first episode. It was, the national anthem, or as most people call it, the pig fucking episode. That one, pretty much any episode that, speaking of this one and the other one, I think it was The Entire History of You, one with Toby Kebbell, where they had the little implants that turned their eyes opaque and they could scroll through a whole bunch of stuff. Striking Vipers had a very similar way to where they did the video game with that. And Smithereens, you can definitely tell where the primary inspirations came for the episode. Even though it's simplistic in a sense, it very much makes sense. Andrew Scott is, I'm pretty sure, I've never seen the show, but he's on the BBC show Sherlock. I believe he plays Moriarty, the TV show with Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch. And he's really good in this episode. If there's any reason to watch that episode, it would be because of him. He's a really good actor. He's incredibly charismatic. And the three apps that are centered around the episode, their inspirations could not be any more clear. The rideshare app that he drives for, Hitcher, is clearly inspired by Uber or Lyft. There is a social media site that he goes to, this like an AA type of thing for people who've like lost loved ones and stuff like that. And there's a woman there who tries to get into a deceased daughter's social media page on this thing called Persona, which is clearly inspired by Facebook. And the third and most evident one, which is what the episode is titled after, Smithereen, a little green messenger looking app with a little light green exclamation mark in it, and the guy that runs it, and everyone's scrolling through all these feeds. It's very clearly inspired by Twitter. And with those being the three primary inspirations, it seems like, oh, okay, this seems like a pretty low-key type of episode. But then it turns into a hostage story. It turns into a thriller where the guy takes this dude hostage, and it turns into a really legitimately compelling and gripping episode, and he really sells it because he acts his ass off in it. But again, Damson Idris is the name of the guy he kidnaps, and he's a young British actor. He's really good in it too. And the CEO of Smithereen, the app, I don't know what the guy... Oh yeah, Billy Bauer. He's played by Topher Grace, and when he shows up is when the episode actually starts getting really good, and it gets really interesting. It's like, oh, there's a level of mystery to this now. It's like it's getting kind of seedy. But I don't know what happened with that ending, but it's that type of ending that I can't stand. stand. It's where everything's just getting so heightened up, and I'm trying not to spoil it for anybody who's not seen it, but it's like in the middle of all this shit, in the this most intense climactic moment, it just, there's no resolution. It just ceases. It just ends, and you're just like, son of a bitch, they did not just do this to me. It's like cinematic blue balls, you know? You feel like, oh my god, you're gonna tug me around all this long. Yes, I love being jerked off for 90 minutes and not being allowed to finish. Well, not 90 minutes. It's like an hour and 10 minutes. It's the longest episode of the season. Well, not by much. I wouldn't know that from the next episode, though. Jesus. And, yeah, I'd say 3 out of 5 stars for Smithereen, because it's a damn good episode up to a point, and that's mainly because of the acting in it. But the third episode I really did not care for, and it's not for the reason that you think. The episode that Miley Cyrus is in. And Rachel, Jack, and Ashley too. Is probably the worst episode of Black Mirror that I have ever seen. But that is not Miley Cyrus's fault. It is, it has mostly to do with just a very confused concept. I got notes of so many different things from this episode. It felt like, well, first and foremost, the first good half of the episode drags. It really drags. Like me with a rope trying to pull a fucking train. It was slow. It's just, oh my god, it was a 35-minute beginning that felt like an hour and a half. It dragged like a son of a bitch. And when this AI piece of technology finally comes into the fray, the Ashley 2, which is basically like, anybody who's ever seen that movie Earth to Echo, that little thing, it's kind of like one of those. Or that it reminded me of that Gem and the Holograms movie too, which is not a good comparison. And like I said, reason why Miley Cyrus is not the thing to condemn about this episode, she's probably the best thing about it. She's the saving grace about it. Her voice coming through the little robotic thing, as well as her actual character, has some depth to it. Every time she was on screen, I was actually interested in where it was going. But pretty much everything else around it is just chock full of cliches. It is a trope lasagna. There is so many tropes and cliches stacked and cheesed on top of each other. Especially, it was like an old Disney tale, complete with a wicked stepmother, or in this case, a wicked aunt. Her aunt in this, Miley Cyrus's character's aunt, who's her aunt / manager, is like Disney villain level psychotic. She's like Cruella de Vil, and Miley Cyrus is a puppy that she wants to kill. It was insane, the levels that she would go to just to get material out of this musician / niece of hers. And when the little robot shows up, it stops being Black Mirror altogether. It is the most un-Black Mirror episode of Black Mirror I've ever seen. You will totally forget that you're watching Black Mirror on Netflix. You're going to expect that little robot to go, "Hi, my name is Ashley 2, and you're watching Disney Channel." It is so bizarre. It even ends like a Disney movie does. Like, the way it concludes, I won't say exactly how it ends, but oh my god. As adventurous and lighthearted as they try to make it compared to other episodes, that ending might as well have been a Looney Tunes. The the way the one character looks at the camera, they might as well have done that little do 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 do. Fucking Porky Pig telling everybody that's all, folks. It was so weird. It was just, it threw me off. I can't say I hated it. Like, it was, I wasn't just sitting there just ready to trash it. It was just mind-boggling that this was the direction that this episode was taking. And if there is a sixth season upcoming, or if it's going to be 3 episodes just like this one, I really hope that there's some I don't want to sound condescending, but freshness injected into these storylines, because that last one in particular, it just felt like it didn't feel like as much of a Black Mirror storyline as much as just a Star vehicle. Like, I felt like there needs to be, not just with that one, but Smithereen felt like it had a really nice premise and a really tight, gripping story that it really could have done something with. Same with Striking Vipers, but there were avenues that it just couldn't fully explore. So out of 5 stars, or simple rating system, what have you, I'd say 3. 3 out of 5 stars for this season. 3 episodes, 3 stars. I liked it, but I can't say that I really liked it. It was a very interesting watch. I got a lot of very intriguing concepts out of it, like Black Mirror always gives. My personal favorite Black Mirror episodes, San Junipero is probably one of my all-time favorites. That one really close to bringing me to tears. It was a very wonderful episode. That one, Hang the DJ, was incredible. That one was a great episode. And there was one other, I can't remember the title actually, but it was a really good episode too. There were some, like I said, each episode's like its own little short film, so you get little different installments. You could watch them out of order, what have you, except the Christmas one, which I just recently saw last month, and that one was a trip. That one was probably one of the best episodes too. But this season, I'm not sure if they're trying to work on material for further seasons, if by any chance they're trying to do another type of Bandersnatch type of interactive film, because I saw Bandersnatch and had a little interactive thing with it, and it was fun at first. It was cool, but I feel like as far as choose your own adventure type of stories, as far as ones where you can watch it and play along, there's a lot of other things that can be done with that, a lot of really cool things. And I know choose your own adventure type of games and stories and books have been around for years and years and years. And there's a lot of really cool shit that can be done with that. But anyway, as far as Black Mirror is concerned, yeah, solid 3 out of 5. I still recommend it. The first 2 episodes in particular have a lot of really cool detail in there. 3rd episode if you're a completist. But although I wouldn't quite call it bad, it's a poor episode for Black Mirror. I thought there's a lot that could be done much better, and maybe not as formulaic or generic, or, again, for lack of a better phrase, old hat of a story. Yeah, as far as television reviews, that might be all I have for the moment. I still got a bunch of shows I got to catch up on. I just started, or I was going to just start, the 2nd season of The Expanse. I haven't seen first season of that show in for fucking ever. Like, there's a bunch of shit I totally forgot. It was like 2017 I finished the first season of that. Like, right around the same time I finished first season of BoJack Horseman. So, yeah, that should be a really cool season, because people keep telling me, yeah, the first season of that show is good, but the 2nd and 3rd seasons, man, is amazing. So, yeah, that'll be a cool watch. Plus, there's a bunch of other movies I got to get to. Yeah, Black Mirror. Pretty solid season. Not the best, but still worth a look. Check it out if you got Netflix.